We're rolling. We're live to the internet, live to the interwebs. Hey, everyone.
Nacho.
Welcome to Functional Meatheads. I'm Mark DeSalvo.
And I'm Froilan Sanchez.
Welcome to another week of meatheadedness and other fine discussions. Froy and I were just talking about how we're in the process of changing our show's theme song and some of the sounds, and we were trying to come up with what we would put into.
How many fart sounds do we want? Is the
Yeah.
question.
I don't believe that was what we said, but sure, okay, we can
Yeah.
roll with that.
Legal amount of fart sounds that can be used.
Yes, the legal amount. So
Yeah.
we were brainstorming and like we're gonna dump Bichetti. Sorry, Mike, but you gotta go.
I think we can keep them in some form, but not that form.
Yeah,
He has a lot of good quotes.
he
We just
does.
we almost have to go download the old Artie.
The brain is what is it? The brain is nothing to play with.
Don't mess with.
The brain's nothing to mess with.
Very
The body
forgiving.
is very forgiving. That's a
Yeah,
great one.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Because
Yeah,
it's true. Take care of the body. If you start doing stuff right, the body kind of turns around. I mean, it's true. I mean,
the
he
body
didn't
is very forgiving. Well,
body doesn't turn around.
there's no more ArtieLangShow.com, so won't be able to get those.
I wonder if you can get the old ones on iTunes. Do they take them off?
Probably. I mean, I'm looking on the on the internet right now, and yeah, no, there's no more Artie Lang show.
Go on iTunes because I don't know if they take it off. Maybe they do. Like if we stop, does iTunes just take us off after a while?
No, no. I mean, as long as our stuff is still hosted and we still have it available, you can download it on iTunes.
They probably stop the hosting then.
Yeah, I mean, they probably don't want to pay for the web space, or well, I'm sure DirecTV has quite a bit of its own web space, and they just probably wanted to clean up the servers. So
Boom.
yeah, that was always a good show. Hope he lands on his feet.
No, he's okay. He doesn't have to worry about us. That was
Yeah.
extra money to him. I think he like Jay Leno, man. They make good money, doing stand up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's just a matter of him getting in there.
Artie, at least. I mean, yeah.
Oh, Machete, yeah, he'll be all right. He wasn't really improving there. He was just the character.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't. Yeah, he was a character. He was the show's announcer. That's a character.
But he's losing weight, so actually health-wise, he's probably better.
Yeah, he's got all data. He goes to kickboxing class now. He says on his Instagram.
That's crazy. It's
Yeah.
good. Good.
Anyway, speaking of health topics and all that
Yes.
stuff,
Project.
let's get into the meat of the show. What do you got this week?
Any projects for you?
Well, I was going to lead with you, but since you
Oh, I'll
asked,
leave. I'll leave.
yeah.
I basically started doing more of the dousing, like we talked about.
Oh yeah, that I've been making fun of you and your bucket.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, if you tried it, I guarantee you would adopt it in a second. Because I do it with cold water. I fill out a 10-quart bucket, so it's not that big. Cold water, and then now I have a ritual where I do it before I bathe.
hmm
So because it's hot over here, right? And I take a bath because I did, muscle Epsom salt baths. I ran 6 miles today. My legs are a little rough, so I needed to soak. So it's hot. I don't want to take a bath. So basically, I'll fill it up with cold water. Make sure it hits my face as I'm standing. Runs down. You get this crazy. The best way that I could feel it, the best way that I could describe it is, it's like seeing a pool, a cold pool, and you just run and jump into the pool without any reservation, no walking in. You just jump and straight into cold water. It literally, for like a split second, it feels like you're doing that. If you aim the water directly onto your face, you get that the mammalian diving reflex because your lungs close up and you get this cold water. So you get all these things happen at one time. It's kind of like a rush. You get this crazy little adrenaline rush, and then it's over, and then you're cooled off. So then I take my bath, and then I do my shower, and then I drain everything, and I do it one more time, the same thing. It feels pretty good. I don't really know how to explain it, like a cup of coffee, but like
Yeah.
a natural cup of coffee, nothing too crazy. So it's pretty interesting. I'd recommend it. for people out there. Look it up, cold water dousing, DOUSING, and see if it's for you. But it's pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, this is something we talked about on the past two or three podcasts. If you're curious as to more about the method of what Froy was just describing,
Yeah.
it was one of Steve Maxwell's morning rituals, was it not?
This is morning ritual, and I could see how it would be awesome in the morning. I just don't have time to always put it in the morning, so I just put it when I shower. And I could see how it would be. Yeah, I could see it would wake you up like boom right off the bat. Imagine jumping into cold water as soon as you woke up.
I see the appeal because it's almost like diving into a pool or diving into the ocean, and like I get it, like I get why that sensation is interesting. Like I said that time, like I never quite feel right when I go swimming or in the ocean unless the head gets fully submerged.
I think it also it speaks to your body in the sense of a primal. Like there was nothing ever really like a shower. Back there it was always either a fountain. If you're lucky, you had a waterfall, right? But that's
Right.
heavy loads of water all at once. Or you had just a place to go in and wash or rinse yourself off. But you're still completely submerged, right? Like you said. Um, so I think it just harkens back to a time where it's speaking to your cells in a way,
Right.
and not like we're lucky to have showers. Like it's ridiculous. You never really. The simplest thing is when's the last time you've got like I'm really happy to have a shower. You never do. You kind of mostly take it for granted. I know there's people out there that love showers, spend hours in the shower. I'm a 5-minute shower guy. I don't mess around. I just get in,
Oh no,
clean.
I'm the guy you described. I love I do not take them for granted at all. I love I
Shower.
love showers.
Wow. I don't know. I don't. It's not that I don't like it, but I'm like, okay, I'm here to. If I want to relax, I bathe.
Right.
The shower was always like, get in, scrub yourself, and get out.
See, that's why I like showers though for a lot of what you're describing with the sensation of the bucket because there's something about if you can get one with some good water pressure and if you need some hot water like when it hits muscles that might be sore or
Yeah.
cold showers in the morning to like dart you up or whatever it is or after you work out. I don't know. I mean, I always appreciate them a lot when, if I had it's usually on the weekends if I woke up early, worked out, went for a long bike ride, and was out all day lately. Like I've been riding to the beach and whatnot, and then I get back like that night or whatever, and you appreciate it then. That's for sure.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. I would love. I think somebody like if you're a zillionaire and you could build a shower, and this was an option for like a part of the shower, I think people would do it. I just don't. I think the big thing now would be people would be like, "There's a drought," and you're just doing this. You know what I mean? People would
Yeah,
be, you're like, "This is the best shower ever."
yeah. I mean, I imagine after you go days without one, that's pretty big.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've had to do that, something like that. I always I always appreciate showers, especially after I fly. I feel like after you go on airplanes, you have this weird, disgusting film on you from like recycled air.
X-rays and dirt.
Yeah, exactly. And flying's disgusting. Yeah,
How dare you?
yeah. Hey, man, I'm not afraid of flying. I have nothing against it for the most reasons that people do. I just think every time I'm done flying, I feel like I dove in the garbage dump.
I can't sit for 5 hours. I get so restless.
Well, that too. That's the other part that bothers me.
Like right at that fifth hour, I'm like, get me off this plane. And finally it lands. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a good project. On my front, uh, I can tell you kind of. I was a kind of an observation I had throughout most of today that I realized in about a week and a half, probably for the better part of a week and a half, I haven't really done some of my like normal breathing exercises,
Hmm.
and I totally definitely feel off because of it. That
Wow.
my ability to like I notice myself kind of holding or having shorter breaths, like if you're sitting on the train or if you're kind of like waiting on an escalator or um,
You
you know,
caught yourself short breathing, huh?
yeah, I've been catching myself short breathing the past 3 days, and I was like, why am I doing that? And then today it hit me. It was like, well, you idiot, you haven't done any of your breathing exercises in a week or two, and it's like, ah, son of a bitch, that is why.
That subconscious, your subconscious is taking over, and it's you may have your fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous system is turned on.
Yeah, and I definitely get a sense of that. Like, I definitely there's a
You
I'm
can tell with people when you look at them and their eyes are a little bit open and they're thinking, but they're not saying anything. You're like, wow, this. The obvious tell is somebody biting their teeth or picking their thumbs or doing anything fidgety and nervous, but they're not they're not thinking of anything. They're just kind of like on the subway and they're like zoned out, biting their teeth. You ever see that look? That's
yeah.
an obvious. There's just other people that are better at it. At like, I'm thinking about something and it's bothering me, but I'm internalizing it, and then your body just shuts down. I really think we should look into one of us at least getting that, not the heart math thing. Maybe it is the heart math thing, but the thing that basically it's a reader and it tells you when your heart beats are off, which is a good thing. You want your heartbeats to be. I don't want to say. I'm going to say this wrong, so let me look it up before I get there.
Yeah,
But
don't say this sounds too serious to butcher. I
yeah,
don't want someone.
I'll get it right. I have it right here. But it measures the beats between your hearts, your heartbeats. measures
Yeah.
it measures the rate of the beats of the heart, and I guess according to what I said, let's see, stress. According to what your boy Dave Asprey says, he talks about heart math, and he talks about meditation.
Don't spit out Asprey facts on this show, please.
Oh, shut up. He said, synchronize your heart and brain with heart math. This is my Honda daily driver of brain upgrades. There are more expensive, sexy ways to hack your stress, but nothing comes close to the heart math technology when it comes to reliably training your heart and brain to work together. A healthy, relaxed person has a high heart rate variability. This means the amount of time between each heartbeat is different with each beat. Low heart rate variability is a sign of intense stress. When your sympathetic nervous system is under stress, your body will release stress hormones and your heart develops an inflexible, unchanging beat. This state is correlated with a host of diseases and even overall mortality from all causes. The EM Wave 2 device is smaller than your iPhone, which uses infrared sensors to calculate your heart HRV. When you have low HRV, a light appears. A red light appears.
Oh, you froze up there.
Huh?
Oh, we had a connection issue. Continue. I'm sorry.
So basically, it has a sensor, and when your sensor turns on, telling you that you have low heart rate variability, a light turns on, a red light turns on. Your job is to do everything possible to make the light turn green while following the device's guidance, which steers you to breathe in and out every 5 seconds. So it's interesting. I thought about, I might even get that. I just want to see how expensive it is. But I would love to just to have it, just to test it, to see if I could do it on my own. Because remember I was talking about that one breathing, the Buteyko breathing method, which pretty much said the same thing, but I didn't know the science behind it, meaning that you would think that well, no, I guess it makes sense that you have a regular heartbeat, but you wouldn't really know to look to see how irregular the time is between your heartbeats.
Well, I would want to verify that information anyway, but it's an interesting.
It's such a hater. Such a hater.
I'm not a hater. I've seen some of his bibliographies before, and they lead back to bullshit. So I'm sorry.
So angry.
I'm not.
You're Darth Vader right now. You can go either way.
Yeah, I'm Anakin. Yeah.
You're happy, but you're also very angry, Mark.
Yeah, I'm a happy, angry person. That's weird.
Who's a bad trainer that can turn you? Like a steroid. You're gonna meet some steroid guy, and he's gonna be like, "Come here, Mark. You're gonna be all check on one shoulder and who's a steroid? And A-Rod. You're gonna meet A-Rod at the gym downstairs. Or allegedly, I don't want to get sued.
Allegedly, yeah. Careful there, buddy.
A-R-A-W-D. A-Rod.
Well, that's interesting, though. I mean, that I would be interested in researching it further because I that's kind of what a lot of pacemakers do when people have heart issues. It regulates the heart, that that time between beats. So
Hmm.
I wonder how those things are programmed and how robotic they're meant to be.
Yeah.
Because those things save a lot of lives.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it's interesting. I like the science behind it, and it's almost like I've had the thought and the theory before, but I could never. You have to catch it, like you said. You caught yourself for some reason. You caught yourself, whatever it was. Whether you've trained yourself. You've trained your body to breathe correctly, and for some, your body was like, oh, so it's kind of like doing a bench press, and you feel it in your shoulders more, and you get a little sharp pain, which means your shoulder muscles were firing first. It's the same thing. You caught yourself. You're like, oh, I'm firing something wrong. Your body knows when you're firing something wrong, so you caught yourself. So that's again, if I have anything against Asprey, it's all these stuff that he has, like these devices, which are in a way you can teach yourself to do this if you spend the time to be mindful about it. So that's my big thing against it. It's like you don't need this if you can catch yourself breathing wrong, if you can catch yourself daydreaming or thinking about some stupid stuff. How do you catch yourself? By meditating, you know?
right. If anything, it's good supplemental information because really, like you just said, you should sort of realize it your own. Through your own mindfulness. And then if you were interested in, well, how does that work exactly?
Yeah.
Then that's a good next step.
Yeah, I'd love to have that thing just to test it. Like, does it go with my theory about like, yeah, I've caught myself. Can I change it? You know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I was thinking about all the all the nervous system mumbo jumbo and whatnot as I was kind of catching myself. And then I was thinking to myself, like today, for instance, I slept pretty well last night. I rested today, and I still just could not get myself like out of this kind of funk. I went, later in the afternoon. I went near the water, way downtown, just kind of laid out and did some, deep breaths, deep breathing, and even then still I couldn't get over like kind of the grogginess. So like right before this podcast started, I just said to myself, I wasn't terribly hungry, but I said I need to eat something. Like I just need to get more than just a piece of fruit. So I had to eat something to kind of like spike me up. It was almost like a fix. But normally I wouldn't do that. If this was a normal night, I would have just parked it on the sofa, went to bed. But I wanted to make sure I could perform for you all here. you know
I would say try charcoal if you're feeling that funk around midday, like after 2. I would just try some charcoal. I know you don't like it, but I would love to see if it just something stuck in your system and you're cleaning it out.
Yeah, it was an all day thing though. Like
Um,
I don't get like I'm not a 3 o'clock feeling person, like 4 o'clock feeling. I just
right
had that.
when you woke up.
Yeah, I kind of woke up with it.
Interesting, interesting. Yeah, it's I either take N-acetylcysteine to kind of perk me up, because usually for me I try to relate everything to if I know my sleep is good and I recognize my water wasn't good today and I was feeling a little cranky, so I went and bought some water, pounded that, felt better. And then I almost got a rush out of it. I've been eating pretty clean because the weekend was a little bit rough. Not too bad, but I
I
started.
saw what you ate on Saturday.
I know, right? You didn't even know what I ate for dinner. What did I eat for dinner? I had pizza for dinner because you
Oh, look
kept
at you.
so.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I got lazy. I didn't feel like leaving, so I was trying to order Chinese food, but my phone always has a day where it doesn't work because of the bill payment. There's a glitch in the bill payment, so I'm like,
First
I have
world
no
problem.
phone and I don't want to leave my apartment. How can I order food? So I downloaded an app, Seamless, and I ordered some food through Seamless.
Well, Seamless is a good app.
Yeah. Well, I think I sent you an email that somebody created an app called Push for Pizza,
Push for pizza.
and all it does is you preload all your information, credit card, tip, and everything, and then you can order 2 types of pizzas, cheese or pepperoni, and then all you do is push the button, and that's it.
And it just goes to like whoever gets the order first or something.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably designate who, but that's all. You set it up one time, and then whenever you want pizza, you just push the button.
It's
I
like an
think
even
yeah, I
lazy.
think
It's
it's
like an
brilliant.
even lazy or seamless.
Yeah, but it's lazier than that. You just push the button. Like I don't know. I think it's an interesting. I like it, and I think there's bigger concepts for it other than pizza. But I'm trying to. My brain's marinating on it right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it is a cool idea. I like it. I'm not hating in the least.
Yeah, it's a college kid's idea. I'm like, that's brilliant. If they had
Yeah,
it for, let's say, weed in California, it probably even made a lot more money. Or Colorado.
yeah, yeah. It'd be interesting. But yeah,
Uh,
so
yeah,
these
I
are good.
posted a couple good tweets today, so people check them out. Today is what's the date today? 8/5, August 5th. Check out the tweets for August 5th. There's a couple good ones. There's one about sleep, another one about sleep, which is pretty interesting. It says major athletes sleep 10 hours a day.
Yeah, that's not. I can see it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that last night because I went to jujitsu yesterday morning and worked a full day, came home was really tired right around 7 o'clock, and my brain was like, and keep in mind I was up at about 5:15 that morning, so you're on hour 14 by 7:30 that night.
Yeah, it's a long hour, dude. My day starts at 5 and it ends at tonight at 9 o'clock. So I think about it like, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it just was relevant. Like it was like 1 o'clock and I hadn't been outside yet, and I told the person at the front desk who just came in, and I'm like, hey, is it hot outside? She's like, no, not right now, but it's supposed to be 88. It's gonna get to 88. And I'm like, I didn't know what time it was until she said the way she phrased it. It's gonna get to, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, it's like feels like it's 6 p.m. But no, it was barely 1 o'clock, and I'm like, yeah, this is. I'm like, I've been up for a long time already.
Yeah, no, exactly. That happens to me almost every day. That's how it is when you wake up at 5 a.m. as you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the weird thing, it's sort of weird how we get certain things implanted on us because I was thinking to myself, well, I can't go to bed at 7. That's crazy. And so and then I thought to myself, I was like, well, I've been up for 14 hours. You could go to bed at 7. Like when you talk about athletes needing to sleep for 10 hours, like people say LeBron James sleeps for 10 or 11. Like when you do what you and I do, like it kind of merits the same type of sleep patterns. And like an idiot, I was like, well, I'm not going to bed at 7, so I kind of missed that sleep train, so to speak. Wasn't tired anymore. Went for a little evening like quick bike ride, not like strenuous. I just like to stroll on my bike through the neighborhood. Got back around 9:30 and then went to sleep. But I definitely think my sleep was affected for it. Like I would have been better off just going to bed at 7 that night.
You bring it up, and it's actually probably good. We'll talk about it now. That'll be today's topic, just because I wanna. It makes sense for us to both talk about it because it talks about age in terms of sleep, and we've already touched upon different areas of sleep, how to get more sleep. But this article had a really good understanding of what's the word I'm looking for. Um, the science. It goes into this cool, age-related sleep changes. So let's say look at sleep changes. So
Hmm.
age 20, age 40, age 60, age 70, age 80. Time to fall asleep. So age 20, it takes about 16 minutes, and then age 40, 17 minutes, age 60, 18 minutes, age 70, 18.5, age 90, 19 minutes. Total sleep time, age 27.5, 47 hours, 66.2, 76 hours, 85.8 hours. So there's all these little things. As you get older, basically your numbers start dwindling, obviously. Um, but it did have one really good thing talking about circadian rhythms. So here are some key points in the typical 24-hour cycle, which is pretty interesting. This is kind of against some of the stuff I believe, but who knows? So
And what are you reading from again before you get into it?
I go on our Twitter and you can see it. I just tweeted it today, but it's let me find it for you. It was The Science of Sleep, and it was from jamesclear.com. Let's see, full web page view. He's an entrepreneur, weightlifter, and travel photographer in 20 countries. Anyways, articles, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he wants my email address. Not going to happen.
So I'm on it right now, jamesclear.com.
Let me find. It was better on. I think I found a better option on. I believe it was IO9. Do. Anyways,
Yeah, continue with what you were saying, though.
yeah. So basically, it talks about certain areas where you can.
You were about to talk with an area you might have
Yeah, this is
disagreed
the
with.
area. This is basically areas you can sleep, circadian rhythm areas. So 20 key points in the 24-hour cycle. 6 a.m. cortisol levels increase to wake your body and brain. We all know that and agree. 7 a.m. melatonin production stops. 9 a.m. sex hormone production peaks. Interesting. That's an interesting one.
I did know that. I knew that. Yeah.
Oh, really? At 9 a.m.
Yeah, yeah.
It sucks. That means everybody's getting ready to go for work or getting to work right when they're super horny.
I know.
And then you wonder
This is for
how
men
many.
though, more than women. What you're talking about.
So then that's why there's so many affairs. Dumb correlation. Da, da, da.
Anyway, continue.
10 a.m. mental alertness levels peak. Okay, interesting. 2:30 p.m. best motor coordination. 3:30 p.m. fastest reaction time. 5 p.m. greatest cardiovascular efficiency and muscle strength. So that's another reason to work out before 5 p.m.
Hmm.
7 p.m. highest blood pressure and body temperature. 9 p.m. melatonin production begins to prepare the body for sleep. 10 p.m. bowel movement suppressed as the body quiets down. 2 a.m. deepest sleep. 4 a.m. lowest body temperature. And obviously these aren't specifically exact, but it's general. And it varies on daylight, your habits, and other factors. But can you imagine disrupting things by staying up late? How much of a cascade of difference it happens? Because we know a lot of this stuff is obviously circadian rhythm is impacted by, as he says, three main factors: light, time, and melatonin. We
Right.
know a lot of people don't produce melatonin, hence why they have sleep problems. We know a lot of people totally disregard time. Like, I want to go to bed at this time, I want to go to bed at this time, I want to drink and then go to bed at this time. And we know people don't even pay attention to light because we're always indoors all the time. So it's
Right.
interesting.
Well,
He talks about how to sleep better and everything. But these little things, they're so interesting to play with. So let's imagine. So in a perfect world, everybody would go to bed at 10, wake up at 6. Wouldn't get to work probably around, let's say 10 a.m. to be 10, between 10 and 11, you wouldn't get to work. You would definitely work out while at work. So between 10 and 6, 5 p.m., you would get a workout in.
yeah, sometime between then.
Yeah, and then you probably leave work around, what? It's interesting. It'd have to be like 10 to 6, eat dinner, and then get ready for bed around 10 again. So it's like an interesting, in a perfect world, if we all had our druthers, that would be a nice day.
Well, the
If you
funny,
want to have
yeah,
sex, if you want to have sex before work at 9 o'clock, you got to fit it in, and then get ready, shower, and get out.
yeah. I think that's why you, but I think you might have just described why some people stay up later than they should because honestly, the thought of people like having to like get home from work and then go right to bed is awful for some people. Like they want to assert control, so that's they're asserting control over their schedule in life at the expense of their health, unfortunately. And I
Well,
can relate to that, you know.
did we talk about that one article that the life? Yeah, we talked about it, you and I, but I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast. Your lifestyle has already been dictated to you.
I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what article that was or what discussion that was.
I think I sent it to you, but you may not have read it. It's a really good article. It talks about how this engineer, he has a blog. Everybody has a blog. It's great. I love it, especially if a good article. But he's like, I have a blog, and he's like, I noticed that he took a year off and went backpacking all over the world, right?
Right.
He talks about how he was happier then, obviously, but he noticed how now he had to book, button down, get some money, and get a real job. So he has an engineer. He settled into a job, and he noticed how he's spending a lot more money on meaningless stuff because he can, as
Right.
opposed to when he was poor, not poor, but living off backpacking and simple stuff.
Right.
All
I
the
remember
stuff,
this.
yeah, all the stuff that he made him happy was cheap, like a nice walk on a nice day,
Right. Exactly.
We compensate, basically we rent out the best part of our day, and thus in our head we have to justify that, and we justify that, okay, why am I renting out the best part of the day? Cash. you're not really thinking these things in the forefront, but it just happens subconsciously. So then
Right.
you're like, hey, Starbucks, two Starbucks a day, uh, a personal trainer after work, a couple drinks, stuff that costs a lot of money, but you're justifying your lifestyle to yourself.
Right.
And it's basically how he said the 40-hour work week is set up, where you have to live you rent your best part of your day out during the day, and then you have to rent, or you have to fit your personal life into after work and the weekends, which there's not enough time, because you have to decompress from work, and then you have to kind of go into it.
Right. Exactly.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
And
It
that's
was,
why.
it was a sad article. A lot of people disagreed with me, but I think it was because it's hard. It's hard. If you admit that, then you're basically admitting a lot of things that are pretty deep.
Right. Well, I think that admission though is very powerful, because if more people came to terms with it, it could
Yeah.
it could change and actually acted on it. It could radically change the way we kind of do things. I'm about to get very Rogan on you, but I mean, it could really change how things are done, because people are going to realize I can't hold someone here from 10 to 6. I can't hold someone here from 9 to 5. Like,
I don't think 10 to 6 is pretty bad. I actually like that schedule.
well, as someone who basically does it now, it's not terrible. I mean, you
Yeah.
definitely need to give yourself the decompression at the end of the day. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a best case scenario person too, because I do this 10 to 6, and it's a very humane 10 to 6. I'm able to take any breaks I want. I
That should be a name of a blog post. A very humane 10 to 6.
humane.
I like it.
Yeah, and I no one really kind of abuses you, very low stress, that type of thing. Like, and I keep it that. Maybe it's also a matter of perspective too. Like,
Well,
I'm
let me
able.
ask you this: when you come home? Because I have a question. I thought about this. When you come home and you need to decompress, what are you decompressing from?
Um, it's the number one thing is I'm really it's two things. It's I have a standing desk, so I can counteract the sitting, but I never get the one movement I don't get in my day in that 10 to 6, which is really weird for someone like me, is I never get on and up off the floor. I never completely recline or lay down, whereas a trainer and as someone who does jiu-jitsu, like, I'm up and off the floor all day, and that's to me like part of my repertoire of feeling like I'm moving my body meaningfully.
So
So
movement.
so my decompression actually is twofold. It's a movement thing, and it's also a surroundings thing. Like, I like feng shui, or I don't even know if that would be appropriate, but like where I am is very conducive to how I feel. So
Yeah.
being in a similar setting in that area of town all day is sort of I'm not able to like totally ever relax. So what I
Yeah.
usually do to come home is I usually kind of just will do some breathing, or just kind of lay down and recline up and off the floor about 15 minutes, and then usually I go for a walk or I go for a little bike ride. It's not like strenuous, but that's what I do to kind of give myself kind of what I was craving.
Yes.
That's my decompression. It's not like oh, these people, I want to kill them, I need silence. It's not yeah. Yeah, yours is exactly because you have the music and stuff around you all day.
I
So
think, yeah, I pinpointed it to, like you said, like yours is just more like you said, a little bit of movement and a little bit of environmental change.
right, that's exactly, those are the two. And if I was able to be more mobile during the day, on and off the floor, kind of changing my surroundings, maybe
Yeah.
what would be perfect is if I had like a really comfortable meditation room with little or no lights, and I could do that 20 minutes a day in the late afternoon. I wouldn't need to decompress at all. I wouldn't
I'm,
need
I'm
to.
trying to find a space because I would love that would help me so much.
Me
Like to
too.
clients when I need, like, just give me some space to go meditate and I'll do it. It would be awesome. Or a park with nobody there.
Yeah, I go down near the park that's near the Statue of Liberty, where you would get on the ferry to go to the Statue of
Yeah,
Liberty.
that's where I used to go. When I didn't have as many clients, I would run out there, meditate, and run back. So it'd be
Yeah,
an hour total, 20-minute run there, 20-minute meditation, 20 minutes run back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'll do that. I'll go lay down there. It's not the same though. Not the same. I would love, like you said, away from people, away. Like last night when I kind of fought off that sleepiness, I went on that little bike ride and I was like in Windsor Terrace, Brooklyn, just kind of just strolling. I'm not sweating, strenuous at all, but I felt like the same effect that you would get that someone might get laying on a beach. I just got that sense of calm, just complete
nice,
release of tension.
nice.
And
I, I think I only get that in my room because I'm so easily stimulated, and there's a lot of stimulating stuff in New York that even if it's just the music in the gym, which is allowed nowadays, and it's like 8 hours of straight bang, 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 it's like it's really irritating. I don't know how it doesn't bother anybody else except for me. I feel like an old man going, lower the music. This is
yeah,
irritating. You go out into the city and there's sirens and people, and I'm like, oh, this is too stimulating. And then I come home and I just sit in silence and I just meditate, and I'm like, oh, this feels fantastic. Um,
yeah, because there's an imbalance there for you, so
yeah,
that makes a
so
lot of sense.
that's what I decompress from. I decompress from the stimulation of the city and the gym and everything else. And I was thinking, well, if I had my druthers and I had a gym with no music, a couple of clients, I wonder how much decompressing I would need after. Like I'm always theorizing that, and it would be interesting to see if you could do it that way. I would love. I don't think any gym, all the private training gyms usually have music too, so it's an interesting quandary to kind of
I
deal with.
think
I don't know.
I think that you might even be able to. I think the least common denominator of what you're saying and what I'm saying is time away from stimulation.
Yeah,
Like, I think that even if you had the absolute, I would be curious to talk to someone who kind of has the dream job, so to speak. And I bet you they would say the same thing, that they still want 20 minutes in the afternoon to just kind of sprawl
yeah.
out, you know?
I think you agreed with me though. Like a dream job for you and me, like is training because we can move around. I get to get on the ground. I get to show people exercises that pop up from the ground. Like I think I felt it. It was either this or construction. I always knew that. Obviously I write on my own, but what I physically my body needs to work.
Right.
Like we talked about this before. Like as soon as I come home, I don't have any issues sitting down, whether it's writing or just sitting down, because I feel like I've earned my sitting, and it's more of a I'm sitting to relax. I'm not sitting because I'm working.
Right,
I
right.
feel like, okay, I've earned my sitting just like I've earned my sleep. As soon as I put my head down, I'm gonna crash, because I've worked, I've ran, I've taught people some stuff. I moved my body, I moved my spine, I did the Tibetan rites in the morning. It's a full load for my body, and then now I can sleep. I've earned my rest. I've earned the deep sleep. I just took some ZMA right now as we speak. Um, I've kind of earned that, so I don't really have a problem. Like, aren't you worried about sitting? Oh no, I totally earned that, and then I don't have to feel guilty about it. And I also do so much foam rolling that I can do it. The only time that's a little tough is the weekends, and if I sit a lot during the weekends because working on a business plan or something else, then Monday morning's a little bit tough. So,
Right.
but
See,
I'll feel it on Monday morning.
right. See, I'm so crazy though that sitting is not even relaxing to me. Like what we're doing right now is not relaxing to me because it's a stress position. I'm not relaxed until I'm laying down, you
Yeah.
know?
Did you listen
Or
to the Rogan with the Haxton, the poker player guy?
yeah, yeah.
He's so weird that everybody knows that those chairs suck. The ones that he uses, they suck.
Oh yeah, the kneeling one.
Yeah, those are like so. I mean, I'm sorry, I apologize. Allegedly, they've been debunked and they're not as good. Who knows? It might have been, the chair community saying, "No, chairs are good." But I don't know if he can do a standing desk because it's hard to interview somebody maybe with a standing desk.
Yeah, 3 hours is kind of tough.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Um, and your guest doesn't want it. So he's gonna have to find a way to kind of move around it. I forgot to tweet him. I was gonna tweet him that article about the Brooklyn Boulders and that other desk.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I often wonder, like, if he worked out with a couple people, how would like you get? I don't know if how the audio would work.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember where it was. It was someone's analysis of sitting, standing, whatever during the day for sedentary jobs, and I really agreed with it. And basically the conclusion was more of Yeah, standing desks are great, but it's not because you should be standing all day. It's that, yeah, you can sit, but you shouldn't be staying in the same position. That you should sit differently. And this goes into my whole thing of like me wanting to be on the floor sometimes, me wanting
Yeah,
to be like on my stomach, me wanting to be on the side, standing, sitting, folding my legs, sitting like yogi style. Like that
yeah,
that is what you were meant to do. Move around. That keeps you flexible. That keeps your core strong and nimble. It keeps your spine healthy. Like that's the key to it. And
you
that's
get
why
it
that
to the
that's why
ground.
that Brooklyn Boulders thing is cool.
I also think it's cool. Like if you're stuck with a problem and you go do 10 pull-ups, I guarantee you're not going to be stuck.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the other thing. And that this is to bring it full circle back to the article you were talking about
Yeah,
initially with the sleep. One issue I was going to raise is that you and I have both seen people who have conducted research on maximize, especially in men, maximizing testosterone levels, and
yeah,
how one of the ways you do that is have short bouts of high intense activity, movement, exercise at like three different points in the day. So
mhm,
certain studies have supported that maybe at 7 8 p.m. doing like 3 sets of 20 pull-ups or something is good for your testosterone. Like
I
that's
would,
why I'm always like that's why I'm not necessarily like don't work out at night. It's like, well, that's why I find it hard to make these rules.
yeah, I would love to, like you said, the perfect business plan. Let's say you go into work, you're like, oh, I have to be at 10. All right, 9 o'clock, I got a session with a trainer for a half hour. We're going to do as many pull-ups as I can. You go to work, one right before lunch, you're going to go do another, you have a snack, and then you go work out. We're going to do as many deadlifts as we can in 30 minutes, right?
Right.
And then after work, you're gonna go and get some heavy bench press, and then you're gonna go home. Especially with like an older client, anybody over what, like 40. I would love to put that into play just to see the results, all that stuff. Whether it's erectile dysfunction or just sarcopenia, loss of muscle mass. I would love
Yeah.
to see that. There's just that's just like something you love to play with, but no client's gonna come 3 different times to the gym for a half hour, you know.
Right. Well, they don't necessarily have to come with you. You just tell them. It's like, hey, listen, you're
Yeah,
working out with me this morning. At lunchtime, go do
yeah.
some push-ups. And then for dinner, I want you to go to the park and do some pull-ups.
Yeah, I just want to see. I would love to see. I would love to have a controlled environment of it, just to be there and just kind of see it happen and be like, oh, okay. But yeah, that was. I got that from Paul Chek. I don't know where you read it from, but I think he said that's the way he gets guys that blew out their testosterone from steroids and stuff.
Well, I Paul
Would that
Check.
work? Would that work with those MMA guys that are on testosterone?
Well, the thing is that I mean, who knows? Number one, I'm not entirely sure, but I think that with I think that with MMA, like you have to balance that, and I think you have to balance rest, especially when you're talking with athletes, because if your baseline of sleep is such crap and you're kind of interrupting your recovery, it doesn't matter how many times you do a certain amount of high intense movement, you're going to be just torched.
That and it's interesting. I love Steve Maxwell's philosophy. Is like he doesn't believe in all that stuff that those hardcore workouts that Clay Guida does and stuff. He's like, look, you want to do cardio, you do cardio when you're fighting. Not if you want to get strong, then lift, but separate that from your all those crazy circuits that they have.
Yeah, I was watching this like short video of Carlos Condit today. I think it was on Instagram, like doing some of his.
He's got a good video. His workouts on YouTube are awesome.
Yeah, and he's got some really, but even him though, like he does some of these workouts that I would argue are gimmicky and might not fall in line with that Maxwell philosophy. And I always wonder who's right because he does have good workouts. Like Carlos Condit's got whoever's programming his stuff. It's like I can see why he would be doing that. Like they had him doing the one I was questioning the most, but it was interesting, was they had him doing a barbell bench press, but it only had a plate on one side. So it was like an off.
Moving.
But to me, it's like, why don't you just grab a dumbbell? I know it's different, but just do a one arm thing.
That's interesting because he has a grip because he has a grip on the other side and he's pulling down as he's balancing.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's an interesting exercise.
And a lot of those MMA guys who go to these performance centers, like a lot of performance trainers are big into are big into exercises that they feel will translate into the sport. So there's a lot of jujitsu guys, like, because I'm around some professional jujitsu competitors, and they all have elite athlete trainers that have like the minimum of that CSCS background. And
Yeah.
CSCS is big with translation exercises or sport specific exercises. So it's like if you throw, they're going to
Yeah.
want to do stuff for your shoulders, that
Yeah.
type of stuff. So like very un-Steve Maxwellian. I like that word, Maxwellian. But
I mean,
anyway,
he doesn't know
so
everything, but his stuff just makes sense to me.
yeah, well I do. It makes sense to me too because I really feel, and like someone like Marcelo Garcia, for instance, like considered to be one of the best jiu-jitsu competitors of all time. He always was famous for saying like, I want to be, there's a quote that is often quoted by him. I want to be really good at jiu-jitsu, so I spend my time practicing jiu-jitsu. I don't lift weights, I don't do this
Yeah.
stuff, I don't do that. And this guy's built like a brick shithouse. Like he looks
Yeah.
like he lifts weights and whatnot. But it's sort of true that like the Maxwell thing just kind of makes sense. It's like if you want to be strong, do things to be strong, and
Yeah.
then do your sport. Whereas like when you take the more CSCS like athletic trainer approach, you're always trying to like mimic these sport movements, which I don't doubt help you on a performance level, but it really makes me wonder like if you put them head to head, like which athletes fare better, what's more beneficial, you know?
Yeah. I can see it being. I think it's one of those things that plays out, especially for CrossFit. You want to be good at exercising, you do that stuff, and they do that stuff all day long and do crazy good at it. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Your cardio, because yeah, nothing is the same. As many kettlebell swings as you do, it's not the same as fighting somebody and
Right.
being tired. Mentally, yes, but no at the same time.
Well,
So
I can say that the two exercises that have helped me the most in jiu-jitsu though have been uh, scratch that, I'll say three. Are deadlifts, kettlebell swing, and bench presses are the three that have helped me the most because
nice.
by actually learning how to bridge your hips and actually extend power through your posterior chain, that's a hip bridge. That's getting someone off of you. Deadlifts
Wait,
are,
this is a good podcast for another. This is a good podcast topic for another time, actually,
oh
too.
yeah, what would be the topic?
What you've learned, what you've learned through jujitsu, like
Yeah, it would be good.
translation. But it's okay. We can do it another time. We'll expand upon it another time. But go ahead.
It's a little self-congratulatory, but yeah.
No, it was deadlifts,
It was deadlifts, kettlebell swings, and bench presses.
bench presses. That's an interesting one. I wouldn't think it would translate.
Because you're on your back is fully supported, just like on a bench. You're on the mat, and you have to push someone off of you. You know,
Wait, you have a good idea here because you can do all those three at the same time.
bench press, kettlebell swings, and deadlifts.
You can't do a kettlebell swing, but let's say you know how people have weighted vests.
Yeah.
Do they have weighted shorts? Because
To
if
me,
you
that
create
sounds dangerous. You'd have to get like compression shorts, but yeah.
yeah, compression shorts and you slide weights into the front and the sides,
Yeah.
bridges up, and then you can do dumbbell bench presses, which I think translates better than regular straight bar bench presses.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then we might do that. You should listen to the last Stone Cold that came out. He interviewed that guy, Mark Bell, Smelly Bell, the guy that super strength gym in Sacramento. That guy became a millionaire off of creating that. I sent you that thing. It's shit. It's a bench shirt. So basically,
yeah.
yeah. So you know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah, the powerlifters use it. Yeah, when they train.
yeah, give you the recoil on the bench.
Yeah.
A millionaire off of that thing.
Wow, he made that much. That's crazy.
Yeah. So you can. So, but because of that, his gym is free. Anybody can go to his gym.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's like the shirt pays for the gym. As long as you're serious and you want to train, you can go there.
Cool.
But anyway,
Well,
create your-
copyright right there on our idea. So
on our jujitsu shorts.
yeah, jiu-jitsu shorts.
I've never seen weighted shorts. I've seen weighted like jackets and all that stuff, but I've never seen shorts.
I will say though that my suspicion is, and my experience so far seems to support a more Steve Maxwell point of view because I started jiu-jitsu having good cardio, and that just seems to translate. You know, I started jujitsu and have continued it um, by trying to be able to produce power. That it's more goals. It's less like movement specific. See, this is where I think things miss the point. Is that
Well, what do your teachers say though?
one of the teachers that I'm closest with, he has a very good strength training coach in the city that does a lot of that specific training with him, and he's a professional. The guy is a competitor.
Yeah.
Marcelo straight up says, "No, I do this. I foam roll. I do the calisthenics. That's it." And then there's a couple other guys I know who work out. But I'm not really sure what their programs are like.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah, it's jiu-jitsu getting the treatment of like an NFL player, NFL style strength and conditioning program is very new. Like, and when I say new, it's like under 5 years. Like, no one really, you know what I mean? Like, of course, people worked out
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, but no one's taken it this seriously until now, basically.
It's interesting. I definitely want to talk about that a little bit more. Maybe next week we can figure something out to talk more about translation theories, different people's theories.
Yeah, that would be a really good topic. We'll do that next week because I just am fresh off of the CS curriculum, which is like the gold standard of do movements that translate versus a Maxwell point of view of just get strong. Don't waste your time with that shit. Do your barbell bench presses. Do your pull-ups. You know what I mean? Do your kettlebell swings. Yeah.
I guess we have to research to see if anybody else follows or believes that. I would love. Okay, I'll do some research. Yeah, we'll definitely.
Let me see if I can get one of my teachers on the show and ask them what they do. Interview them.
You just want to ask them a couple questions beforehand or whatever. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask them this week at class, like kind of what the ones who I don't know what they do.
Be like, hey, can you recommend any web or whatever? You can figure it out. You're a smart guy. You had a journalism major.
I'm a smart guy.
With degrees.
Yeah, I got one of those expensive pieces of paper.
Nah, dare you? How dare you? Your parents are slapping you right now.
Nah, it was worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited about that. I love design. I love figuring out how people design things, and if you can design a fighter, I think it's so weird and not weird. It's so strange because you're teaching them. Anyways, we'll save it for next time. You're teaching them to do something that's primal, yet a lot of finesse and technique involved.
Well, yeah, exactly. I can give you two separate anecdotes already right now.
Save them, or unless you really.
No. I'm gonna save them.
Okay.
Gonna save them. Of one that supports one thing and one that supports another, the other point of view.
Fascinating.
So it's very the answer, as it seems to always lie somewhere in the middle, but we will explore it.
And I bet you Paul Chek, when he was training fighters, he was not cross. Well, does he cross train? I don't know. That's interesting. I'll do some research on that to see when he was training his fighters, because technically that was before he had his breakthrough.
Yeah, exactly. He was when he was the coach of the men's army boxing team.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, people.
Indeed. Hit us up on Twitter, everyone. Fun Meatheads, at Fun Meatheads on Twitter. Froy's always posting some cool stuff. We got more followers these days too, so there's more people to talk to.
Random. Like, I think people are actually, they don't think we're a bot. They're like, wow, these are some pretty cool articles, and they're like, who is this? What is this?
Yeah, and today our 70th episode was posted. I think this is either 71 or 72. So.
Damn, son, we all.
Oh yeah, we're getting old. I would say like not counting our pilot episodes that didn't air, we're probably on 80 something right now.
Interesting. Our pilot episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, so functionalmeatheads.com as always, and on iTunes and Stitcher by searching Functional Meatheads. If you have anything you want to take issue with or hit us up about, it's functionalmeatheads@gmail.com. If you want some help with some program stuff, if you're listening to this and you want to chime in on the program debate that we're about to get into next week, please do. Would love to hear it. And any last words, Froy?
Brush your hair.
Yes. Take care. Why not brush your hair?
Watch regular show.
watch the regular show, and give a big old Ric Flair. Woo!
That's right. We need it. We need it. That
Exactly.
will stay. That will stay.
Yeah. Uh, good night and good luck.